Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about the top 10 knives of 2020 in my opinion. Now, excuse me, I have a slight cold so I'm a little under the weather. I just want to get this video done by the beginning of next year. So I don't think any of these knives, none of these knives actually came out in 2020. 2020 has been a hard year for me. I lost my job twice during the pandemic and now we're going into a third lockdown, so I really have trouble affording new knives. So what I have here are some older knives. Some of them I did actually get in 2020, but they're not new for 2020 knives. These are my top carried knives, tools, and we'll talk about it as we get through it. So, let's talk knives. So, top 10 knives for 2020. I have basic, like really basic stats, just a little bit about the knife. In front of me, if you want to see most of these knives, I've done a full review. I think all of them except one or two, and the ones I haven't, I'm already working on reviews for. So other than the Multitools, which I don't really know if I'll do a review on, we'll see. I don't really feel comfortable doing reviews on Victorinox knives. So why did I take these off? I can't see without them. Thought I can do it without, but I need to read the screen, so I need my glasses. So we're going to start with the first one, which has been my most carried pocket knife of 2020, and that is the Kershaw Natrix in copper. It has a D2 blade. You can get it for around $63, $64. I have the mini. There's a regular and an XL. I would like to try them. For me, the mini fits really nicely in the hand. It just doesn't, the pinky doesn't really sit on it, but if you grab the pinky, it doesn't feel like it's in the air. It really fits nicely. Does a really good job. I've sharpened it many times. It cuts really, really well. There's nothing really to say. It's a D2 flipper. I think it's on ball bearings, or no, this is on washers. Just really nice action, really smooth knife. Deep carry pocket clip, which, as I've said before, I'm not totally sure it's a good thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. But on this knife, it works really well. It's a sub frame lock, which works just like a frame lock. Other than that, really nice knife, and I really like the way it patinaed over time. With this lighting, it's a little hard to see, but it got a really nice patina. The next knife that got the most pocket time, well, technically not pocket time, is the CRKT Folds Minimalist. It's been on my belt almost every day since I got it about 6 months ago, plus minus. I have a review of this one. I know I have a review of this one on my channel. This is the Warncliffe variant. Here you go. Designed by Bob Folds. It's 5CR15 MOV, but my card I handled, and it's only $25 plus minus. I really like this knife. I'm probably going to buy a few more variants of it with different blade shapes when I can afford it. I know I'm going to get at least the draw point. I have a friend who has the Karambit. I think they call it the Caraman. I am going to test that one out. I don't know if I'll do a review on it, but it would be interesting to see other blade shapes, especially the Caraman, where it's not really a utility shape. This one is a very utilitarian shape, and I really, really like it. And as I said, this one you can get for about $25 on Blade HQ. You can get them, it's about the price you'll pay anywhere else for them. Excuse me. Next knife on the list is Cold Steel Tough Light. I have the one in blue. it is a beast of a knife for the size package you get. It's, I don't know, 2-inch blade, 3-inch blade. How much is this? Here, have a ruler. Here, it's 2-inch blade, that is 5 centimeters. It's a beast. It fills your hand really nicely. You got a full grip. You have a thumb on the top so you can apply pressure when you need. I don't really know any, well, I probably can find negatives for the knife. You have that forward finger choil, so even if the triad lock does fail, which I highly doubt it ever will, you're basically holding the knife so it won't close on your fingers. So this one has an AUS 8A, which I think is basically a slightly upgraded AUS 8 or AUS 8 steel. It has a Grivex handle, which is a plastic composite. Really strong, really tough, and really comfortable, even when your hands are wet. I worked with this when I was unboxing things last winter in the rain, and it just doesn't move. It also fits really nicely when you're wearing gloves. It's not a self-defense knife, though. It could be used for that, even though I'm holding it pretty self-defense-like. It's a great utility. Box cutter, package opener, you know, even a little bit around the camp I've used it. It's just a little thick behind the edge really for making feather sticks, but it could be used for that. And it's only like around $30, and if you want, they even have a smaller variant of it. I don't have the price, but I know it's about an inch and a half blade. This is just this was on my list last year. I don't remember if I did a video last year, but I know it should have been on my list last year, and it stayed on the list this year. So did the next knife in the list. This is one of my all-time favorite knives. This was one of my first real company, you know, not Chinese garbage pocket knives that I got, and that is the Kershaw Chill. Now, I was really sorry to hear that they discontinued this one this year. This is a R.J. Martin design. It's an 8CR13 MOV, and it has thin layers of G10 scales on top of liners. It is a liner lock. It is one of my all-time favorite knives. It lost out because it wasn't carried as much to the other ones, but this one is like, I wear it in like slack pants or with a suit, or when it, you know, I do wear it normally, but I normally actually carry not this one. I carry one with a thumb stud. See this one right here. I like it so much I have two of them. Here. So I carry this one, which has the you know, thumb stud that's meant for the what is it, meant for the Buck 110. You can add a thumb stud, so it gives you another way of opening it. So this one is the actual one that I carried. I just got a second one for if something happens, especially now that it's discontinued. You can still find it. I saw it on Blade HQ. I don't remember if I saw it on other sites. It's about 28 to 30 bucks. It's a really nice knife. Flips really nicely. You get a full grip. It's slim. It's small. It could classify as a gentleman's knife. I really enjoyed carrying it when I did. Next knife, really quickly, is going to be the Kbar Doiser Hunter. This one I did a review where I talked about why I switched the blade to the black one. I really like the pink. I like the black. It's simple. It's a very simplistic design. I mean, there's nothing unsimplistic about it, but it sits really comfortably in the hand. I carried this one, I was going to carry it for a little bit just for the review, and I ended up carrying it a lot longer than I expected to, just because it was comfortable. It did the work. Now, the one I have is an AUS 8 steel. I think it's AUS 8A. I don't really know the difference. I do know you could get it now in D2. I don't have the D2. I can't talk about how the D2 of Kbar is. This one's with a Zytel handle, and they go for like 20 bucks. It's really no-brainer to own one of these, especially for how awesome a blade they are. So that is the Kbar Doiser Hunter. The next knife of this list is going to be the last of my EDC carry knives before we move into other categories. And that is going to be the Ganzo G746-1. It's a clone of the Degada by Lion Steel, I believe. As much as it's a clone, it's more of a copy than a clone. It's a copy, yeah. It doesn't say on it, Lion Steel or Degada. But it's very clear that that's what this knife is trying to look like. It's comfortable in the hand, surprisingly. It doesn't have any guards or any, for if you're going to use it for a self-defense knife, which it could be used as. But I used it for, box opening, package opening. I open a lot of packages in my job, so I used this when I was working in the field as a farmer for, cutting some food that I had, cutting twine. We got things in this really thick, like Kevlar plastic. That's what the guys called it. I don't know if that's what it really was. And this thing cut right through it. It's in 440C. It's a G10 handle. It goes for about $20 to $25. You can get in many different colors. Just an awesome little knife. Now, if the fact that it's not their own design bothers you, Ganzo do have a bunch of knives in their own design in the F8 series. They do have one or two in the regular series, and just I think they call it in the G or in the F series, where it is 440C. The most of their own designs, I find they're doing them in D2, which I really like those blades, but they didn't make it into my pocket a lot this year, mainly because I had these other knives that I liked more, and what's the word I'm looking for? And they just didn't make the cut for this list. This one I carried much more and I really enjoyed. Now, before I go on to the next category, which is just going to have one knife in it, I'm going to give a quick shout out to another Ganzo. Let's see if I can find it. And here it is. This one isn't the D2 series. It's one of their own designs. This one is the FH41. I believe I did a review on it. It's the only one. Now, at first, I thought one of the other ones would make this list as a thing, but this one's action is the only one that has stayed crisp. I've used it just as much as I've used the other ones. Probably a little less, actually, but it's still snappy. It's in D2 steel. It's G10 handles. Also, you can get it for about $30 on AliExpress. It has a semi-deep pocket clip. It's a really nice knife. So that's a shout out for this knife, but it's not one that made my list. Mainly because I carried so many other knives before that. So, next category is going to be the camping knives, and this knife is basically the Mora killer. Mora used to be my go-to camping knife, even though I've had several others more expensive. This thing was just on the same price level and so much better, and that is the Brother F006. This one is in 440C. They have several other ones that are in D2, and I think they have one in VG10. I don't remember. But these knives are basically the Mora killers. You get a more comfortable handle than the Mora. I believe this is an SE clone. I did a review on this one. Sorry, you guys can see it a little better. It's a really nice knife. It's a little thicker than your, it's thicker than your average Mora. It's shorter than my companion, which would have been my favorite Mora. It's a true Scandi. It just is a beast of a knife, and I've carried it way more than I've carried the Mora. Now, due to lockdowns, I haven't gone out as much as I go normally, most years. But when I did, this was the only one that I've carried more than once or twice when I went out. The other ones I've carried was, well, of course, the Mora and a Cold Steel SRK in SK5. But this knife I carried multiple times. Sits comfortably. I carry it in a Scout on the sheath. And it just is a really, really nice knife. It is in 440C with micarta handles, and it's only $30. It's a steal of a knife. And I mean, you can get fire steel and strike it on the back, and you can attach it with one of those plastic, attachments that here, and you have a really full, nice bushcraft setup. So that is for that. Next category is going to be multi-tools. Now, multi-tools is a little strange because I kind of gravitate towards the older Leathermans. So I have the Leatherman PST2, which was the first one of the older series that I got, and I carried it for quite some time. But ultimately, once I got my hands on the PST1, the regular, the first tool, I just carried it much more. I even have two of these. This is not the actual one I carry now because it's a little stiffer than the one I carry now. But you have your blade. I don't know what materials these are made out of. I believe it's a 440B. I don't know. You have your knife, your screwdrivers, your awls. What is it called? A file, some more screwdrivers, a can opener, bottle opener thing, and your pliers. These sit on my belt almost every day. Or this one, well, normally it's the PST. Sometimes it's a PST2. Very rarely, mostly it's the PST. They're really nice. Now, used, you can get them for about $30. There's a Heritage series, which is the exact same thing, where brand new they cost about $150. They're discontinued, so check your knife dealers if they still have them. If they do, they're around $100 to $150, and if you ask me, they are worth every penny for smaller multi-tools. I basically have two Victorinoxes that I've been carrying in leather slips with pocket holes that I've made. They are the Compact. Now these, I'm not sure I'm ever going to review if I haven't. Actually, I haven't done these because I don't really know how to review it. You review basically all of them, except this one has scissors, this one has a saw. But this is the Compact, the one Blade HQ I've been talking about, and because of that, it is discontinued. Not discontinued, it's out of stock in almost anywhere. I just called up the importer in Israel, and he had them, and it was a decent price, so I took from him. The only upgrade I have is I've changed out the screwdriver, as you can see here, for a fire ant, which was a Kickstarter, where you got a eeny beeny ferrocerium rod and a bit of tinder that, and that went right into my drink. Good things these are waterproof. I'm just going to dry it off. It is a little tinder that screws on and is a really nice addition to your tool. So I always have a way to start a fire, even though I do carry a lighter on me. I don't smoke, but I carry a lighter. The other nice thing about this, which is the fire steel, is the top piece that like the handle up here, glows in the dark. It's a pretty decent glow. It glows for about an hour after lights out and does its job. It's not really too fantastic, but I've lain with it a fire just to see if it works. It does. The tinders typically last about 2 minutes. So that is for this one, the Victorinox Compact. Now, if I don't have the Compact, I will always have or the Compact or the or the Compact or the Cadet, which is right here. This again, I have the Cadet in A-locks, simple, finger thing, nail cleaner, knife. And I can't open it because I cut my fingernails. Knife and flathead bottle opener, can opener combo. And I've also again in a leather slip that I've made, this one with a black chain and clasp, so I don't lose them in my pocket. If I'm carrying the Cadet, I'll also have the Leatherman. Normally, just for comfort reasons, I'll carry both. Sometimes I'll only carry the Compact. So if I'm going to a place where I don't want as much weight on me, or I know I'm not going to need a Leatherman that day, I'll just take the Compact and leave the Leatherman at home. If I'm going to take the Leatherman, I'm also going to take the Cadet. I don't even know why, it just feels right to have a Victorinox on me. Even though I should probably have one on my keys. My keys, as of late, I have not had a multi-tool on them. Because I have a full-size multi-tool, I find that too many redundancies could be a bad thing sometimes. I know, I said something bad. But yeah, you could have too many redundancies. So, that's the list of the knives I carried, my favorite knives for 2020. Hope you enjoyed the show. Please give me a like, share, subscribe, tell your friends about this. Tell me what was your most carried knife this year. Happy New Year's, and I'll see you all on another day.